this guidance method takes a little time, and the dog got to decide to do the right thing.
I'm not opposed to that collar method at all. I know some people are going, oh no, you're not training my dog with a shock collar.
I'm going to do a video with the taser and show the difference.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Not the same. Before I start using the electronic collar, because you're not going to really get to see what's going on, I can show you through the leash. All right, so anytime I tug the leash, imagine that to be a tap on the e-collar.
Okay.
All right. So loose leash, we're good to go. He's doing okay, I'm doing okay. When he tightens the leash, I start applying this pressure. And yes, I can muscle him in like that, but that's not the idea. I want him to do it on his own. Okay? So start that again like this.
So you apply the pressure so it's just a little bit of deterrent from chewing
Well,
on
his
that?
lips go against his teeth, so
Okay.
he's less likely to bite down. And then but I'm also going light, so going light, I'm not really forcing him to stop because he wants to continue, but he's got to decide. That's why I like to use the lowest amount of pressure, because then the dog decides that, makes a choice. If you're using high pressure, there's not much thinking involved. It's just he's going to be afraid to bite it. Not what I want. Many people think that works because yes, it will stop the behavior, but the reason for stopping is because he's afraid to do it, because he's afraid to get hurt. What we're doing here is he's choosing, and he's not afraid. That's what I want. So it's kind of like a visual example. Now I'm going to start doing the same stuff, pressure with this rather than leash or my hand, but in the same method, lowest level possible, and more stubborn than the dog. Coaxing him over, and eventually we fade away the help, and you just gotta understand, tight leash under any circumstance is not acceptable.
Good boy.
So applying the pressure is very important at the right timing, but what's even more important is when you stop the pressure, because that lets him know what the right behavior is. So right now the two cues for me to stop is when he gives me a loose leash. I don't even care if he comes all the way to me, just give me a loose leash. If he comes to me, then I'll reward him with petting. That's bonus. And then the other thing is when he lets go of the leash, as he likes to bite it, when he lets go, I stop. It's basic stuff. It's very simple. So there's going to be a lot of me repeating the same things over and over again. It's just going to be for different situations. You're going to be able to apply this to sits, stays, downs, come when called, off-leash obedience. It's all based off the same simple principles. You apply pressure at the right level, at the right timing, and when he stops doing that behavior you don't like, you take away pressure. When he stops, you stop. If he starts, you start. He's going to figure out that he's in control.
So I noticed that when he stops the pressure, he stops pulling and he comes back, you don't praise him.
This is called negative reward, negative reinforcement. So positive reinforcement, when you're talking dog training, there's positive and negative reinforcement, positive and negative punishment. It doesn't mean good or bad. It means plus or minus, like mathematical terms. So a positive reward or a positive reinforcement would be I add a food, a treat, or I add petting, I add something to reward him.
Okay.
Negative reward is subtracting. I subtract this. So when he's misbehaving, this pressure starts when he gives in, when he does the right thing. I reward him by subtracting this, a negative reward. So actually I am rewarding him, and this is a reward-based system.
Right, okay.
I use praise and petting as a reward. That reward is extremely powerful. Right now he's very amped up. If you give too much, it's gonna increase the intensity.
Right.
Yes, he doesn't need that right now. Right now the slightest good boy is more than enough for him.
Right. And that's why when, he started running towards me, that's why I didn't say, oh, come on.
And you were totally right to do so.
Yeah.
And
And as soon as you said treat him neutral, it's okay.
That's the reason.
Backing off.
That's the reason when we're training, I like to have my dogs where I do not pet harness. And some people will think that's because the dogs are aggressive or the dogs, are shy or something. But no, it's because I train my dogs with talking and attention and affection as reward. So if people are giving it away for free, then they're rewarding God knows what kind of behavior.
Right. Exactly, yeah.
Because reward falls under the same principle.
Right.
If you want to reward a dog for doing something right, you have to do it in that moment when he's doing something. So they make the association of this behavior and the reward. This behavior gets him a reward. If you reward him later for being, let's say he did really good for training today, and you want to give him some treats at the house,
He's not going to go 2+2.
no.
Yeah, exactly.
Same
Like
thing with bad behavior though. You can't give a reward later because they're not going to get it. So you definitely shouldn't give a punishment later.
Right.
The dog knocks down the trash and gets all dirty in it,
Right.
and then you say, "Stop it! Come here!" And then, "No, bad dog, blah blah blah, whatever,
Yeah.
punishment." Well, first you missed the opportunity of him acting wrong. That would have been the moment to give the punishment, the scolding, whatever. Secondly, you said come when called, and he came.
And then you said bad dog.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
So in the instances like that, if you miss the opportunity, you must let it go. Even if you're not very happy about how things went,
Right.
you gotta let it go.
Right.